Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to completely tear down everything you thought you knew about skin health. I mean, if you've ever dealt with those stubborn blackheads that just absolutely refuse to go away, what we're about to get into is going to totally reframe how you look at them. We are diving way beneath the surface of the skin to uncover the true root cause of blackheads. And honestly, the science here is fascinating, and it's probably the exact opposite of what we've always been told. So let me just ask you this directly. Really think about it for a second. What are blackheads actually made of? Think back to that classic teenage struggle, right? You're standing in front of the mirror, scrubbing away with countless expensive creams and harsh lotions that promised the absolute world, but didn't do anything. Why did they fail us over and over? Well, it's actually because we were completely misunderstanding the fundamental biology of what we were fighting on our own faces. Okay, let's dive into this. For decades, the prevailing myth has been that blackheads are just, trapped dirt and bacteria, like it's just an issue of hygiene, right? Well, wrong. The reality is that every single blackhead on your face right now is actually made from a very specific type of fat. It's oxidized sebum. It is literally a saturated fat. It has absolutely nothing to do with dirt or sweating or, not washing your face properly. Section 1. Unmasking the blackhead myth. Let's kick off this anatomical deep dive right at the surface of the skin, basically the scene of the crime, to see how this biological process actually plays out. What's really wild here is the role of something called an androgen. Now, an androgen is a male hormone, but it's present in all of us. When your body produces too many of these androgens, it acts like a blaring alarm bell. It drastically increases both the size and the production of your skin's oil glands. So your body suddenly starts pumping out just way too much oil, and inevitably, all that excess oil gets stuck. It gets hopelessly clogged right inside your pores, creating this microscopic traffic jam. And when that trapped oil, which is also known as sebum, gets pushed near the surface and the pores open, it gets exposed to the oxygen in the air. This exposure triggers a rapid chemical reaction where the fat oxidizes and turns dark. And boom, there's your blackhead. Now, if that same pore happens to have a little tiny layer of skin over it, meaning it doesn't get exposed to oxygen, well, it stays a whitehead. So the crucial takeaway here is that whiteheads and blackheads, they come from the exact same underlying mechanism. They're literally the exact same problem, just interacting with the air differently. Now, here is a staggering statistic that absolutely blew my mind. 100%. Out of all the clinical research done on blackheads, there's one common fat that shows up in 100% of the people who have them. And it's an excess of something called palmitic acid. Now, I know it has the word acid in the name, but it's actually a fat. Specifically, it's a saturated fat, the most common fat in your body, as a matter of fact. You also find it in things like palm oil, butter, cheese, and a ton of highly processed foods. Section 2. The sugar to fat pipeline. Okay, we've looked at the surface, but to find the real culprit, we have to go a bit deeper. We're shifting our focus away from that clogged pore on the outside, right down into your bloodstream and internal organs. So palmitic acid is a saturated fat, right? But surprisingly, you aren't just eating it. Your body actually manufactures it internally. And get this, it makes it directly from excess sugar. I mean, this is a massive paradigm shift in how we think about dermatology. Just think about that for a second. A saturated fat that is physically clogging the pores on your face actually originates from consuming too many carbohydrates and sugars in your everyday diet. Here is exactly how this biological pipeline works. Step 1, you consume excess sugar, way more than your body actually needs for immediate energy. Step 2, your body sends that massive overload straight to the liver to get processed. Step 3, your liver acts like this busy chemical factory, converting that excess sugar directly into palmitic acid. And finally, step 4, that newly minted fat gets pushed right out into your bloodstream and travels all the way up to your skin. It's a literal biological journey from that sweet treat you just ate directly to the creation of a pore-clogging fat. Crazy, right? Section 3, the missing zinc link. Now, normally your body has a perfectly healthy built-in plan for dealing with this fat, but something is interrupting it. Let's take a look at exactly why that system breaks down. You see, palmitic acid is actually supposed to convert into another specific type of fat, one that acts as a natural protective skin antibiotic. It's meant to prevent inflammation and acne. And there's a specific enzyme whose entire job is just to manage this healthy conversion. But we have 4 major enzyme saboteurs to worry about: excess sugar, alcohol, junk food, and a zinc deficiency. Any one of these 4 factors will actively block this vital enzyme from doing its job. And when that enzyme gets blocked, the conversion just doesn't happen, which leaves that thick, clogging fat completely stranded right there in your pores. The source material puts this so perfectly. It says blackheads are one of the best biomarkers of how much zinc you have in your body. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. So the really crucial point here is that getting a blackhead isn't just some annoying cosmetic issue. It's actually a glaring physical indicator that you are deficient in zinc. Zinc acts as this hard-working mechanic that allows that conversion enzyme to actually function. Without zinc, the whole assembly line just grinds to a halt. And to make matters even worse, consuming excess sugar actively depletes whatever zinc you do have left in your system. It's a vicious cycle. Section 4, Vitamin A and the liver. Let's keep following the clues here. We're moving our investigation out of the bloodstream and directly into the liver to meet the undisputed master controller of your skin's oil production. And that master controller is vitamin A. Now, you might have heard of powerful acne medications, things like Accutane, right? Those are essentially just highly concentrated synthetic versions of vitamin A. Sure, they get rid of acne fast, but they come with a whole package of severe systemic side effects. Your body's natural vitamin A is meant to control that oil gland perfectly on its own. But here's the catch. Natural vitamin A is completely useless without zinc. You absolutely need both of them working together as a team to keep your oil production balanced. But remember that excess sugar we talked about a minute ago? Well, it doesn't just create pimple-causing fat, it actually causes a fatty liver. When your liver gets totally saturated with fat from processing all those carbs, that fat begins to spill over. It becomes visceral fat, which is fat that literally invades surrounding organs and tissues, completely outside your normal fat cells. And since your liver is the main, highly concentrated storage hub for vitamin A, this whole state of metabolic chaos severely impairs your body's ability to store and use the very vitamin it desperately needs to clear up your skin. Section 5, the metabolic disease red flag. Okay, we finally have all the pieces on the board. Let's bring all these clues together to solve the ultimate medical mystery of the blackhead. And honestly, here is the core takeaway of this entire explainer. A blackhead is not a disease in itself. It is simply a tiny red flag waving on the surface of your skin, signaling a much deeper metabolic problem inside your body. This is exactly why those surface-level creams and scrubs constantly fail us. They completely ignore the underlying sugar overload, the insulin spikes, the zinc depletion, and the fatty liver. I mean, you can scrub your face all day long, but if the internal factory is broken, those blackheads are just going to keep coming back. Section 6. The ultimate clear skin remedy. We know the root cause now, so let's fix it. And we're not talking about buying another expensive lotion here. We are talking about real, actionable dietary solutions to heal this internal metabolic problem from the inside out. So here is your actionable dietary blueprint. Your body needs tools, specifically zinc and vitamin A, to fix this issue. And they really need to come from the right bioavailable sources. For zinc, your absolute best dietary sources are going to be red meat, shellfish, and, well, actual liver. And for vitamin A, liver is just an absolute powerhouse. But if you don't like eating liver, and let's be real, a lot of us don't, high-quality cod liver oil is a fantastic, highly effective alternative. You just have to give your body exactly the nutritional tools it needs to get that skin-protecting enzyme working again. And finally, here is your clear skin action plan. Step 1, and honestly by far the most critical one, eliminate excess sugar. Cutting sugar directly reduces those insulin spikes, which in turn drops the androgens that are driving that massive oil production in the first place. To help do this, trying a healthy ketogenic diet and practicing intermittent fasting are incredibly effective strategies, mostly because they naturally keep your insulin levels extremely low. If you combine that with eating the nutrient-dense foods we just talked about, you are quite literally turning off the blackhead factory right at its source. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. Is your daily sugar intake reflecting right back at you in the mirror? The next time you see a blackhead pop up, don't just reach for a harsh scrub or some expensive cream. Look at your plate, evaluate your daily habits, and realize that true, lasting skin health starts deep within. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this completely changed how you look at skin health, and I'll see you next time.